try to stay low key. Don't want the company to it by my lonely.
Welcome back to Vibe Check with MVP Vibe. My name is Shadia, host of the show where I get to interview your favorite artists, your favorite musicians, vocalists, and poets. Now today we have someone super special on the show because, okay, I've been trying to catch up, but it seems like he manages amazing artists, he books artists on concerts, he puts on amazing concerts, he interviews artists, he's a dad. What else am I missing? It's Smooth Vega.
Well, I appreciate it.
Welcome to the show.
I was like taking it all in. I was like, keep going.
What else do you do?
You know what? I don't know. That's a good question. I do a little bit of everything, but definitely an entrepreneur.
For sure.
Definitely an entrepreneur. But I do dabble in graphic design and web design as well.
What?
I do a little bit of agency work.
Okay.
I broker deals for talent, and then also in addition to that, believe it or not, the one thing that people don't know that I do is social media management. I manage a lot of big, high-profile social media accounts.
Really?
Yeah, that's never before been said.
I feel like
loud.
that would be so time-consuming.
It can be, but whenever you've known how to do it naturally.
You have a whole program,
no, it's like I just naturally know how to do it, and I manage big accounts that aren't hard to get reach.
Okay.
So it's like, okay.
How organized are you?
I'm actually not as organized as you
What's
would
your
assume.
sign? I'm just kidding.
Pisces. I'm not necessarily organized, but you know what? I think it's very easy to, whenever you have the tools in front of you, for example, like some of the accounts that I have access to, they reach so many people.
Yeah.
So it's just easy, just a matter of just reading the audience and knowing what the audience responds and reacts to, and just put it out there.
So that's really important what you said, and I just want you to know that a lot of people that watch are local artists on the come up. So everything that you have to say, I'm sure, is really important for everyone that's watching right now at Vibe Check. And you just talked about reaching audience and how important that is to the companies that you work with.
Correct.
How important is that for an artist to reach an audience? And how specific do you need to know who are you making music for? And is it just for everyone?
I think it's important to establish who and what your audience is first, right? So I think once an artist identifies who they are and what who their audience is, right? Because I just had a conversation with an artist the other day. I said, you don't pick your fans pick you, right? But you still have to have a general idea of who you are. I think the problem with a lot of artists and it's not even problem, it's an area of opportunity, as I like to call it, right? The big area of opportunity is just being able to understand that, anything prior to you having a multi-platinum record or a Grammy is artist development. You're developing, you're finding yourself, and there's nothing wrong with finding yourself, right? Because there's this sense of just kind of getting an understanding as to who you are, but you have to, in my opinion at least, you have to have layers to who you are. It has to be more than the music. You have to give people a reason to be invested into you as an artist. And so to me, it's very important for people to tell a story through not only their music, but also through their journey. If you're a struggling artist out there that has a story to tell, and that your story is that you're struggling, tell the story. And I think the more that people can, people can relate to you, and the more that you are able to let people in, the more people it will resonate, and more people will want to connect with you.
For sure.
That's my opinion, though.
Yeah, and they should tell the story through their music.
Not only through their music, but also through their social media content. Right now, I've been going heavy on TikTok the last few days.
Oh, cool.
And
I'll have to follow your TikTok account.
Oh man, my TikTok's been booming, guys. I'm just letting you know.
What is it? What is it? A TikTok of? Is it like
it's really just interview content. It's a lot of motivational, inspiration content. But I think that the thing that I've noticed for artists that I've seen that have had huge success is being able to tell their story.
Yeah.
That
connection.
So it's like that content allows you to tell the story. In pro wrestling, I'm a big pro wrestling fan. Vince McMahon has always been my biggest inspiration in terms of business. They say the most successful pro wrestlers are the wrestlers that are themselves with the volume turned all the way up. So I think with artists, it's a lot of the same thing where you got to be yourself, but turn the volume up. So if you're Latin, if you're Mexican, turn the volume up, represent that all the way. Whenever you go and create content, turn it up. If you're LGBT, turn it up. If you're struggling, turn it up. Let people know. Don't be afraid, don't be ashamed. Because believe it or not, those things that you may not think are cool, that you may think, oh, you know what, I'm a little insecure. Those are the things that people identify with. There's absolutely nobody perfect in the world. So I think the journey and letting people into your journey is what people connect with,
Yeah, I love that. I'm really excited that We're going to get to play Connect 4 now.
Yeah.
Because it allows me to
interesting.
get to know you even more.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, you said you've never played before,
I
right?
mean, if I have, it was probably whenever I was a kid, but, you know, I'm excited to do it, so let's do it.
Reconnect with your childhood self here.
Yeah.
Okay,
So who starts?
These are our game pieces. They have questions.
Mm-hmm.
Just answer each question, and we'll get to know each other.
You start.
Well, I'm more getting to know you. I'll start.
Yeah, you start.
No one has ever told me to start.
So hold on. So let me, because I want to make sure I'm doing this right.
It's always you start first.
So if I get this, I answer, and if you get that, do I
You're
answer?
answering all the questions.
Okay, cool. I got you.
All right. So here's your first question. In the movie of your life, what song plays opening credits?
Oh man, that's such a good one. I would have to say, it has to be. Man, that's such a good question. I would definitely say it was on Rocky for the No Easy Way Out.
No Easy Way Out.
Do y'all remember Rocky IV? No Easy Way Out. Yeah, that one. That's funny.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if it's the opening credits, but it's definitely the big.
I mean, that's
the
a
big
really great
montage
song.
in there. You know what I mean? I would definitely go with that one, but I don't know, man.
Ready to watch that movie.
I'm such a big Rocky fan, so I got to go with that. It's the first thing that comes to mind.
Says a lot. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, grab
I don't
your...
know if I am. Let's see. The question is, at what age did you start working towards your business? So, before I put it up there, I'll answer the question. I would say it's kind of multi-answer, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I started at 13. That's when I realized that I wanted to pursue music.
Okay.
And I knew right away there was nothing else that I wanted to do. Prior to that, I went through a phase where I did say I wanted to be a youth counselor. But from that point, I just started going after it relentlessly. And I think whenever I finally made the decision that I was going to do like Premiere Live, which is ultimately my company that I have now with touring and doing all that stuff, that started officially in 2016, but I was doing events since 2007. So, I mean, to be honest with you, you're talking 15 years ago. So if we're looking at an age,
13.
13 and 22, those are the two times that I saw it. So So does this work right here? Because
That's perfect right there.
I like this right here. Okay, let's go.
All right. Who, since you interview a lot of folks,
yeah.
who has been your favorite interviewer?
That's a tough question. That's a very tough question, and I have a lot of different answers. But I would say
today, who's your favorite interviewer?
I mean, Bun B as of recent was great. I think that was a great interview. I think that he gave me a soundbite that went viral, so I think that was a very, very strong interview. But
I saw it on Who's Gone Wild.
Did you? I mean, it popped up everywhere, you know. No, I think
Texas Talk, I saw it on everywhere.
Yeah, that was really cool. But I would say the Chris Perez interview with obviously.
What's your favorite?
It's probably my favorite because I think it was the first piece of journalistic content that I created that people took me serious as a journalist.
Yeah.
Because I had already been doing interviews for years at that point. You know, I was probably about 2 years into creating content, and you know, if you want to go a step further, I had done stuff prior, but that was the first piece of content, despite the production value, despite the everything. That was the first time people said and watched it in numbers and like, this guy is great at what he does, you know. And
so that one's special to you for sure.
Yeah, and also because me being Mexican American and me being able to
connect with him on a different level.
Well, not just connecting on a different level. Like I feel like I'm rare in the sense that I could do urban hip hop, I could do sports, I could do pro wrestling, I could do pro boxing. And I could tap into the culture, my Mexican American roots. And I think a lot of people have not been able to take an independent platform, because you'll see a lot of like the Vlad TVs, they tell the death row stories, the Tupac stories. No one's done the Selena story. And so I've been able to interview AB, Chris, Shelly Lattis, who's from San Antonio, I believe. And Chris lives in San Antonio as well.
Yeah.
And also Pete Studio. So like I have like a series of Selena interviews, but that one was the one that I think not anybody thought I would get, and it was also the one that I felt people responded and reacted in a certain way because I was able to go places that I don't think he's ever gone with anybody else. So very proud of that one.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, who was your worst interview? I'm just kidding.
The worst interview.
Unless you're gonna tell us.
I'll tell you who it was.
Yes.
I would say it was not even that it was the worst interview. I wasn't as educated with MMA, so like I didn't know as much. So it was Chris Cyborg, but Chris Cyborg, there's a language barrier there a little bit. So, and there was some connection issues there. So I wasn't as satisfied with it. And then also like, you know, I work very closely with Def Jam. So Def Jam will always send me like their new artists, like, hey, we got these new artists we signed, we interview them. And I was like, yeah, sure, bring them to the platform. And I think a few of those interviews, those artists weren't quite ready to be interviewed. Yeah. So I'm not really happy with those ones either. But Chris Cyborg was probably the one that I thought was like, I can't watch it.
Awesome. Thank you for being honest.
So my turn, right?
Yep.
All right, let's see. All right, so what would you like remembered about you? I mean, I think we all strive for legacy, right? I think legacy is something that we should all want. For me, legacy has always been something that I chase, something that I feel that I'm always going to work towards. But in terms of what I want my legacy to be, I mean, I want to go down as the greatest at whatever it is that I do. But to sum it up, it would be just to inspire, motivate, and make people believe that they can achieve anything that they set their mind to. I feel like for me, especially coming where I came from, growing up the way that I grew up, you know, I didn't drink, I didn't smoke. I've never drank or smoked my whole entire life. But beyond that, I'm the guy that nobody expected to get far. I'm the guy that, you know, on paper wasn't the most talented, wasn't the most skilled. If this was sports, I was the guy that everybody overlooked and like, that guy's never gonna make it.
Since you wanted to be in the music business, did you want to do music first?
I actually I was an artist first. I won Best Artist, and I actually won awards as Best Rap Artist. And where I'm from, they have the local awards. I won Best Rap Artist in 2006, 2007, and 2015. And I was inducted into the Hall of Fame where I'm from.
Spit some bars for us.
Oh man, I don't know if y'all ready for that. I could do it, but I will tell you this though. Nobody expected me, and I wasn't like, especially coming in, I wasn't naturally someone that was as skilled as some of these guys. You know, you meet some of these guys and like the moment you meet them, they're like, man, that guy just has it. That wasn't me. I developed the skill because I wanted it, you know, and I always feel like you could develop skill, you could teach skill, but you can never teach the want. The want is something you either have or you don't have.
For sure.
So that's what I want to be remembered as, for sure.
I love that. That's a great answer.
So we could go up, down, left, right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you gave me no other options here.
Yeah.
So here we go. There
you go. Okay. What would you recommend is the best way to succeed as a local artist? What's the best way to go about it?
I think there's a lot of different ways.
Tell us the answers, Smooth Vega.
I don't know if there's a specific answer because different strokes work for different folks, right? But I definitely feel that one of the best ways to have success, for one, is identifying what success means to you, right? Because I feel like everybody.
I love that you said that.
Yeah, success is very subjective. You know, you could be like, oh, well, you know what? Success might be determined by money to some people. Success might be determined by the amount of clout they have, or whatever the case may be. But I think ultimately, the best way to succeed as an artist is just be visible. Visibility creates opportunities. How do you become visible? There's a number of ways to do it. There's There's 100 ways to cut the pie, slice whatever analogy you use. Like networking is very important. Creating relationships is extremely important. But also maintaining relationships, because you could create a relationship, but you got to still maintain that relationship and really nurture those relationships and grow and continue to strive to learn more. Because I think in order to be a great teacher, you first have to be a great student. I think it's very important to be someone that's willing to learn and willing to take, direction. You know what I'm saying? But I think ultimately really just networking and getting to know people. There's movers and shakers, not only in San Antonio, there's movers and shakers in Austin and Dallas and Houston. There's movers and shakers everywhere, really, no matter where you're at. Find out who they are and don't complicate your journey. That's the one thing I never understand about artists. It's like, look, if my car breaks down right now, I don't know how to fix cars, so I'm not gonna try to fix the car. I'm gonna go hire a mechanic. So if you don't know how to take that next step in your career, whether it's getting booked, whether it's graphics, whatever it may be, don't complicate the journey. Don't try to do it on your own. Find somewhere that could do it. Ask for recommendations. Go on Google. Do whatever it takes and really figure that out. And I think once they figure it out, the sky's the limit.
Yeah. I love that.
I seem like I practiced that, but I really didn't. Oh, it's my turn.
It's your
I was like
turn, yeah.
waiting for you. All right, let's see. All right, so which rapper would you not let date your daughter? The Baby. I think it's The Baby. I think that's obvious. I don't even need to answer that one, right? I think he answered that one for us.
Oh man.
I don't think there's any other way I could get around here.
The Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, you saw what he did to Danny Lay.
I know.
Let's go.
Okay, what is your favorite thing to do on your free time when you're not working and it seems like that's what you do 24/7? Oh, by the way, I won.
Did you already win?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, well, the interview's over, huh?
Yeah.
Damn,
Thanks for coming by.
Damn, you know what? I find a lot of real like peace in just mentoring people. To be honest with you, that's what I like to do in my free time. If I have a conversation where I can mentor somebody, have a conversation, give them direction, give them game as they call it, that's very fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it was up to me and just like a hobby, I get to, watching sports is always cool. Watching boxing, love boxing. Attending sports events is cool to me sometimes, specifically boxing or pro wrestling for me. That's my
favorite.
preference. But I mean, other than that, I'm pretty lame. I don't do nothing. It's just the music and just thinking of unique, innovative ways to create new content.
Yeah.
To expand my footprint and to find different ways to expand my brand. Those are things that motivate me for sure. So
And that's what you love to do.
that's what I love to do.
That's all good.
You know what I'm saying? So if
Love
there's a
that.
way to do that, that's what I'll do.
Because you're passionate about it.
So you already won, so what do we do here?
So now you can just go and answer the questions. We'll continue the interview.
Okay, cool. So
We
let
don't
me
have to get up anymore.
what is a genre of music that you know a lot about? Other than hip hop and R&B, because that's the obvious.
Okay.
I would say Tejano music. You know what I'm saying?
Tejano
Tejano
music.
music. I think Spanish music in general. So obviously me growing up, Spanish was my first language. It's well documented. My mom owns a record. She owned a record shop growing up.
Wow. That's so
which is
cool.
I named my festival after my mom's record shop, Central Popular. From the time that I was born, 85 to about 96, 97, she owned the record shop. It was about 11, 12 years. She's a Mexican immigrant, may I add. So for her to have her own independent business in the heart of the Stockyards, which is North Fort Worth, which is a very prominent area, for her to own an independent business for over 10 years, that shows where I got my entrepreneurship from, and it took me so long to understand that. But I say that because it's very uncommon in today, even now, for someone to be an independent Mexican woman that's an immigrant, a Mexican immigrant, to run their own business. So I'm extremely proud of my roots for that.
For sure.
But she sold Spanish music out of there. So like I knew about Los Bukis, I knew about, David Lee y Los Musicales, I knew about Marco Antonio Solis, I knew about Selena y Los Dinos, I knew about Emilio Navaira, I knew about all those guys before I knew about Tupac and Biggie Smalls or whoever,
sure.
or Dr. Dre, you know what I'm saying? So that's
I feel you.
I was, Pegaso was one of the groups that I remember very vividly, growing up on, so yeah.
I totally relate to that.
Did you know any of the groups I just named, or you
All
just
of
know?
them.
Oh,
Every
really?
single one of them. I think my first concert was 440, so I was like 6 years old.
Yeah, so but I mean, it also brings me back to those days where if I listen to a certain song, it brings me back to that time.
Of course it does. It's super nostalgic. And you remember your mom, waking you up with the music playing and the songs. And if she owned a record shop, I'm sure that her love for music translated to you.
Yeah, I didn't realize that till recently. I didn't really realize it. And when I started kind of going, oh crap, that makes sense to me.
You're like, that makes perfect sense.
Okay, I guess now. Because sometimes you're so always busy moving, and you never really stop back to reflect.
For sure.
And when you reflect, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now.
I get it now. Okay. I'm going to ask you this question. Who is the most famous person on your contact list on your phone? Pull it out.
I don't know. That's a good question because I got a lot of people that are like quote unquote famous, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one, man. I mean, I guess we could break it up into like sports, music. Man, I don't know. That's a good one. I don't know. I can't answer that one. There's so many.
Who comes to mind?
There's so many that come to mind. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a flex to even know Chris. I mean, people might not think Chris is super famous, but for me, growing up, Mexican American, I always say Chris is a big deal.
Yeah,
obviously,
Chris is a big deal.
And then obviously, Paul Wall's a really good friend of mine, and I don't say that lightly. You know what I'm saying? Someone I really know. I mean, some people, like, I've been around him. I see how people respond to him. It's, really, like, weird to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, there's also other artists that I know, that I've
Actually, yeah, I remember that's another one of his jobs that he does. We went to a Paul Wall show and you were hosting.
Oh yeah, I could get on the mic too.
Yeah.
I mean, I got some phone numbers. I got Terrell Owens' phone number. I got Chris Jericho's phone number on my phone. I got a few pro wrestlers. I got a few big people on there. So it's pretty cool. Pretty much a lot of the Texas guys is Bun B.
Do you text Bun B like?
I texted him the other day when the interview came out. And that's why he posted it. So, but I don't really text these guys frequently. Like, I always get kind of weirded out.
You're not like WYD. What are you doing?
Nah. I do get, I will say the fan comes out of me every now and then. Like if I see like Royce the 5'9" text me or somebody like that, like I'm like, oh, this is cool, because I always bring myself back to whenever I was just a fan, because that's what made me fall in love with the music to begin with, for sure.
Yeah, we all start off that way. Anyone that's in music.
Yeah, for sure. I think you gotta love it. You gotta genuinely love it.
You have to love it. All right, it's your turn.
All right, let's go. Let's see. What motivates you to keep going every day? And they kind of goes and correlates with what we talked about earlier, which is legacy. I think legacy is very important to me. Even though I've been doing what I've been doing for so long, from doing music to transitioning into live events and then wearing all the other hats, whether it be graphic design, agency work, hosting, doing the interviews and doing the media platform, social media management, whatever. I just want to be remembered, to be honest with you. I want to be remembered, and I want people to look back and say, my life was a little bit better because he was part of it, whether it was through watching me and observing me and following my journey, or because I directly impacted their life. That motivates me, but also my children. Obviously, my children, being able to be in a position to where, growing up, I never wanted to be the person that said, oh man, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have done that. I want to be able to show them that you could literally do anything that you set your mind to, as long as you put the effort forward. And I never want to be the person to tell them that, and me being the person that didn't do it. So I want to be able to say, hey, I do it. And that comes at a cost. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of times you spend away from your family, being able, going after and pursuing your own business, your own journey. But I think as long as I continue to do it, one day they'll appreciate the fact that it was done, so they could see that they could do it.
Yeah. I believe that too, because they're watching you do it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
they might not know it, but eventually it'll come to them, like
100%. Yeah. Okay, what are your top played songs at the moment?
Top played songs at the moment.
I know you had a little bit of a drive, so what were you listening to on the way?
Well, on the way over here, I'm listening to obviously XB Valentine's, who is an artist that I manage, right?
We've interviewed her on Vibe Check. Make sure you watch her interview.
Yeah, thank you so much, by the way, for interviewing her.
Yeah, she's amazing. I love her music.
So I listen to a lot of her mixes, as they come in. I'm still very involved on the post-production side and on the production side as well. So, really kind of developing her sound has been very, very rewarding and fulfilling for me. So I always like to listen to just kind of like her music and the progression. But if it's not her music, I would say right now what I find myself listening to is, I'm an old school cat, so I'm always listening to the old stuff. Like I'm still listening to Tupac, I'm still listening to Eminem. I don't really give a lot of new music a lot of chance, because it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I like what I like.
You like what you like.
I like what I like. I mean, I gave Pusha T's new album a listen and I enjoyed it. So I guess you could say that,
Yeah.
So that would be it.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Describe yourself in one word. Damn, that's a good one. Sheesh.
That was the word.
That's probably the word right there. Superhuman.
Superhuman.
There you go, superhuman, I guess.
I love that. Okay, what is one song people would be surprised that you know by heart?
Damn, that's a good one too. Let's see. Let me think. Dang, I don't know if we. Probably Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On.
Yes!
Hey, that's Titanic.
Now I picture you singing it.
Man, that's whenever you ask me the question about the movie credits, that crossed my mind. I was like, I know that.
Should I say Celine Dion?
That Titanic soundtrack hit so different in 1997,
Yes.
Let's see. Define success. I think success goes back to what we discussed earlier as far as like what it means to you. So what does success mean to you? What is success? It's very subjective. Everybody has a different answer.
For sure.
I think that success should
Because what is fulfilling to each person?
I think that's exactly what it is. I think success is defined by fulfillment. Like what fulfills you. It might not be money. It might not be the clout. It might not be the attention. Some people don't do well with attention. Some people feel uncomfortable with attention. Some people don't like fame. Some people appreciate their privacy. Some people want to be able to walk to Walmart.
Some people want to be famous until they are.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh.
Yeah, like some people want to walk to Walmart and enjoy going to Walmart.
Yeah, that's true.
Without being mugged. I think success ultimately comes down to fulfillment and happiness, and really finding yourself in a place where you can truly, truly say, you know what, I love what I do. I'm happy at what, I'm truly happy and fulfilled, and that's not necessarily defined on financial stability, because there's been times where I didn't have as much money as I may have now, or I may have had then, or whatever the case may be. Because being an entrepreneur, it's up and down. It's up and down. It's never it's a roller coaster. But I've been at times where I haven't had as much money, but I've been truly, truly happy and fulfilled in what I'm doing, and really finding my purpose. So I think as long as you know what that is, and you'll know it when you'll feel it, you'll know it. Yeah, I think that's what true success is. And that, and of course, being around your loved ones and being, truly being able to say your people are in health, because the pandemic, it took a lot of people, and a lot of people didn't make it. So we're very fortunate to even be here. So
yeah, I feel lucky every day, for sure.
So that's success.
All right. Do you have, was it your turn?
No,
it was my turn. Well, it's my turn. Do you have any celebrity crushes at the moment?
Ooh. I'd say growing up, it was definitely...
Yeah, tell us you're growing up and then
well, because it's probably the same.
Oh, really?
It's Adrienne Bailon from 3LW, Cheetah Girl.
Oh, yeah.
She's now on, The View, I think. Always had a crush on her.
Yeah, she's super cute, girl.
She's super beautiful.
Yeah, I remember.
I think I go through phases. There's so many artists that I see, on the big stage that are, just very, very beautiful women. But I think probably Adrienne Bailon. I'd say her. I don't really get Google-eyed over actresses or artists or anything like that anymore. It's just so I've always kind of been consistent with Adrienne Bailon.
Yeah, that's been the one.
She's been.
I love it.
I always said, one day I'm gonna date her, but she's married now, so
She is married now.
it ain't gonna happen, but
Okay.
Who are your top 3 favorite rappers? So we could do this in 2 ways. We could do this all time, or we could do this currently. All time, for sure, Tupac. For sure, Eminem. And then I would say the third artist, which has been this has been very difficult for me to answer because there's so many artists that I like. But I would say Scarface. Scarface has been probably my favorite artist because not only was he the reason that I was, introduced to hip hop. My brother is 6 years older than me. And he introduced me to hip hop with the Ghetto Boys.
Yes,
so,
I had that tape.
Yeah. Me too. So the Ghetto Boys is what introduced me to hip hop. So Face to me will always be one of the greatest. But I think currently now, I listen to a lot of artists, and obviously I like what I like, and I mentioned that I like what I like, but I definitely am a fan of Joyner Lucas, not because I've worked with him. I'm definitely a fan of West Side Boogie. That's someone that I listen to pretty frequently. And then obviously, probably J. Cole. I'm a big J. Cole fan. I think that I'm not die hard to the point where I know his catalog in and out, but I enjoy his music, and I do like listening to him. But I'm not just a fan of rap. I grew up really actually more on R&B, to be honest with you.
So who are your top 3 favorite R&B artists?
Easy. That's Boyz II Men, Jodeci, and Genuine. And Drew Hill's a close fourth, but Genuine is someone that I just never really thought got his proper credit, and I love Genuine's music. But the list goes on. Tyrese, so on and so forth. 112. I was really big on the R&B groups.
I loved 112.
And I wish there was more R&B groups in today's climate because there's not as much.
The R&B groups, where are they? I do love that the ladies have been taking over R&B. SZA, Summer Walker.
For sure.
All of them. They sound
but I feel like there's a lost art in the group. The group was such a cool
the groups
concept.
were amazing.
Yeah, so
we need an R&B group. If anyone is watching right now, Vibe Check, and you're an R&B group, tap in. We want to interview you.
There you go. That's the open casting call. I think there's an opportunity in that because even with females, you haven't really seen a prominent all-female group. Like, you know, of course you had In Vogue, you had SWV, you had TLC.
Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child. I mean, you're right. So I mean, I think it's time. I think right now there's a big
we need
void.
an R&B group. Yeah.
And I tried to form one, but you know, we'll see.
We need Diddy to come back. With
making the band.
making
Right?
the band.
There you go. Exactly.
That's hilarious. Well, Smooth Vega, thank you so much for coming through. Vibe check.
I appreciate it.
Happy to have you here and talking to everyone on this platform on MVP Vibe. Make sure you download and watch all the time. You can download it on your phone right now. What else do you have coming up for this year?
We have a festival coming up on August 6th in Fort Worth. It's called Central Popular. Now, Central Popular is a festival that, like I mentioned, you know, my mom's record shop.
That's right.
You know, I named this event after her.
Popular.
Yep. Last year I launched it. I made it more of an all-Latin event, and the whole purpose of me launching it was really kind of like, you know, I wanted to take the transition of doing the talent buying, because, you know, I had routed so many tours for the last 6-7 years, whether it was, you know, Joe Budden, Royce the 5'9", Nipsey Hussle, Dave East, A Boogie, Bad Baby, you name it. Like, this list goes on, all these artists I work with. And I said, you know what, like, for me, the next logical step is to, you know, create like a festival brand. So I wanted to do a more Latin-based the first go around, and also I was a little reluctant to overcommit because of the pandemic and everything that had happened. So what I decided was, you know, I'm gonna launch this event, and here we are in the second year. You know, I wanted to really go put the pedal to the metal, as they say, and I increased the budget ×4, and you know, now I have 3 6 Mafia coming out this year. Camilla there, who doesn't come out often, doesn't do many shows, is gonna be part of the show, and we have a lot of other artists. And staying true to the Latin theme, you know, we have Cap G, Flawless Real Talk, who was a finalist on Rhythm and Flow. He'll be there as well as GT Garza and a few more other artists. Lil Flip, so there's a lot of guys that are going to be there. So I'm really excited about it. It's August 6th, and here's the irony, right? You know, I talk about honoring my mother. Central Popular, named after her record shop. August 6th is actually her birthday.
Oh, wow. It really is
there.
honoring her.
Yeah, and I think, you know, my mom being a God-fearing woman, someone that believed heavy in Christ and always spread the word, she'd probably be a little upset that I booked a group called 3 6 Mafia at this event. You know what I mean? I could hear it already, but you know what? We're trying to make it happen. So that's what's coming up. So.
All right, Centro Popular, August 6th. Make sure you get your tickets. Smooth Vega, make sure you tap in with him, follow him, and download MVP Vibe, the app. Thank you for watching Vibe Check.
Haven't heard from me, how to stay low key.